99% of you who are listening to this today are looking for their deals the wrong way. You're emailing, cold calling, door knocking, looking for mailer lists, trying to generate leads, looking on the same lead source websites as everyone else. You got to stop. You got to stop. That's not how you play the game. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Christian. I have bought a few hundred multifamily properties, actually under contract for over 100 more multifamily properties right now. I built this portfolio in the last 4 years, retired my wife. I started with $0 because that's what the budget was. I learned how to play this game, and it's a lot simpler. Anyone who's telling you to do any of the other ways to find real estate, they either don't know what they're talking about or they're trying to sell you something. They're trying to get you into their program or get you to buy something. Everything I do is free, minus taking a little bit of time. Everything I do is repeatable, and everything I do, I've learned from people who own a lot more real estate than I do. If you're new to this channel, welcome. Please like, subscribe. If you want more tips on how to start buying more real estate with or without any money, follow here. For those who've already been here for a while, you know how I like to play this game. The first thing I'm going to say, and this is so important, meet with the people who've done the thing you want to do and ask them how they did it. If you're trying to find these email lists or blast out to everyone, call 100 people a day or whatever you've heard online from someone that you need to do, stop right now. The masters of this game, the people that I learned from, were the people in the market that I'm trying to buy from who own all of the rentals. And I called them and asked how they got started. Most of them started by finding a deal that was on market. I will say about 60 to 70 of them said, I found a deal on market that made sense to me, and I wrote an offer. If you're trying to do all these other crazy things, that's actually a really good place to start. Now, I would learn in this order. Learn if it's a deal, which means you know your market, you know who you are as an individual and what you're actually looking for, and you know your numbers. When I look at this deal in this market, I know that this looks like a deal for me. A lot of people call this building your buy box, but it is a 3-part series of know yourself, know your market, know your numbers. If you have those 3 things, you can look at deals online and you can actually find deals on LoopNet, on Crexy, even on Zillow. If you're into buying smaller multifamily, you can find these deals consistently online. One of the largest deals that I had purchased in my first year was a 38-unit apartment building. It was on the MLS for 13 years. I bought it for the same price it was listed at 13 years ago. That is a deal anyone could have done that was sitting on the market. All it needed was a little bit of creativity. Now, how do we find creativity? We understand when we're looking at a deal, and then we can put the rest of it together. Okay, so that's like the main thing that you can do super easily. That's totally free. These are being marketed to you. However, you do have to weed through a lot of them. So you have to get really good at the step of what am I looking at? What do I want to buy? And when am I looking at a deal? When you get that nailed down, you're good to go. You can start finding these, and you will pick up some deals. If you just do this as a 5-minute part of your day, just ping the website, set up a little notification for when things are newly listed that fit your criteria, and away you go. You will eventually buy a deal doing only that. Seriously, only that. You will buy a deal. Like in the first year or two, it will happen. The best deals, and my favorite way to find them, was just networking with the people and asking how they built their portfolio. I never ask anyone to sell something to me. I don't do any marketing to them. I do nothing at all to generate leads. So why do I get so many leads? Coffee meetings with individuals who've already done the thing that I want to do. In my case, I wanted to build a 100-unit portfolio. That was my first ever goal, to retire my wife and to build my house in Texas, which is almost done. I close on it in like less than a month, which is insane to me. Almost fully built. That is happening right now. Very excited. When we put all these things together, I met with the owners who had already found financial freedom, who'd built a portfolio and have held it for a long period of time. Because I believe that if you can hold real estate for a long period of time, you will become very wealthy. We've seen that happen. Real estate doubles in value about every 15 years. So if you buy it and then you never lose it, you're worth a whole bunch of money. That's the basic concept. I met with the people who've already done that, and I communicated 3 things. 1, who I am. At that time, I'm Christian, trying to retire my wife. I've bought 2 duplexes. I'm out of money. Okay, so they understand my position. I'm looking at your larger buildings, and I would love to get into these, but I have no idea how. Could you help me do this? Really simple ask, simple question, and for the most part, these people have families who don't care about their business. Their kids don't want to inherit their properties. They've built a really cool thing, and they love talking about it. What I've heard from almost all of them is they got networked. They do community. They know everyone else in the group, in the area, who buys real estate. And because they were known for someone who buys real estate, they got a lot of deals offered to them. They're friends with all the other people, and these properties all traded within the friend group. I've seen this happen in cities all across the U.S. Now, I own in Washington State, primarily. I started in Central Washington. I've now branched to Texas where I'm moving. I did the same thing in multiple towns, as did some of my business partners. We sat down and we talked about what the actual deal was, the opportunity, what our goals are, how they built their business. We went into their other businesses. We sat down, we got coffee. It's Texas, so we got barbecue. But we hung out with the people. We spent time. We didn't ask them to sell stuff. And then when we actually started talking about properties, it was a really natural transition. It was two friends who already know each other. I've bought 70 units in Texas and I'm under contract for another 112. How did we find them? They weren't listed online, at least not the ones that I'm buying. Someone heard my story, resonated with me. I understand how they built their business. I understand the types of properties they have. And we came together when they wanted to sell and they said, hey, would you like to buy this? I think I'm ready to move on for whatever reason. Some were seller financed, some were conventionally financed. All of them, some of the best deals I've done in my life. So if you're considering doing a mailing campaign, it's impersonal, it's a sales job, and you're going to be sending a lot of messages and spending money. Will you find deals that way? Very likely, if you're good at it, you could find deals that way. Do you want to be an email marketer or do you want to be a real estate investor? Your pick. I like the coffee meetings better. I also like just looking online and getting automated notices and then just reaching out to a broker when a deal is already listed for sale. Those two things resonate with me. I don't want to have another sales job. If you're doing cold calling, that is like the least favorite method of all time. Sitting there at a desk dialing. I think most of us want to leave the 9 to 5. That's like one of the worst 9 to 5 jobs you can ever have. Why would you prescribe yourself that to find deals? Silly. Another thing I see a lot of people do, they write a ton of letters of intent. I've actually seen mentorship groups that are based on how many LOIs, letters of intent to purchase, did you send out this week? I have never written an LOI. Actually, that's not true. I've written one LOI, and it was to add clarity to how we wanted to structure a deal. We'd already agreed on a deal, but before we put it on paper, they wanted to see in writing more of how the deal structure would work. This was for a very creative management option contract that we were looking to do on an 8-plex. It looks like that deal actually may come together. I did an LOI to clarify a very complicated deal. If you want to offer on a deal, write an offer. If you're just writing letters of intent, you're basically just throwing stuff at a wall and seeing what sticks. Again, not a great business model. There's email campaigns where you can buy all these lists, skip trace people's contact. Look, the buildings are on Google. If you're buying multifamily, they have a longer roof than the single family stuff. Click on a parcel map, see who owns it, then Google their phone number, give them a call. I do that 2 times a day, 5 days a week. That's 10 calls. Am I just ripping out cold calls? No. Now, did I say you never cold call? Absolutely not. You do, in fact, have to meet someone somehow. So if you're not meeting them at a meetup or out in public, I'm calling 10 people. Whether they answer or not, I don't care. I'm just making those 10 dials. And of those, I usually get one coffee meeting every weekend. That's 52 people a year I meet with, and we talk about real estate. Do I ask them to sell me their stuff? Absolutely never. Do I learn everything about how they built their business to the best of my ability? All the time. Do I ask for distinct takeaways? Yes. Do they remember that I'm the person who didn't ask them to sell their stuff and was sincerely interested in their properties and their business? Yes. I get phone calls because everyone knows who I am, and now I'm in that circle. And all the properties trade within the circle. They don't trade to the wholesalers. They don't trade to the best marketers. They trade to the people who are in the circle. If you're outside the circle, you have one mission: get in. You get in by meeting people in person. Don't give yourself a stupid sales job. Meet the people, get in the inner circle, buy real estate. This works in every market. This will work for you. It'll work for me. If you want to learn more, subscribe, like, be part of this channel, be part of this community, and find us anywhere else. Instagram, Facebook. We have a whole bunch of community around this of people who are just buying deals and transacting. With or without money, if you are on the outside, get to the inside. Multifamily Strategy. We'll see you guys on the next episode.